Okay, hello, greetings everybody. Welcome, greetings to everyone that has joined. Thank you for being here. First off, my name is Stacy-Ann Simpson. For those of you that don't know me already, I am a children's book author of 3 books, self-published. So the first one that I have written is a short story called Luna Soul. The second book, I Am Affirmations, and my third book, which is Just Breathe, Inhale, Exhale, which is an introduction to meditation. All right, so welcome to the Indie Writers Realm series, where self-published authors like myself come to share our author journey and share their love of literature, writing, and to inspire future authors. So with so many authors out there, as a self-published author, sometimes it can be hard for our work to be received and for it to receive the love that it rightfully deserves. And so I've created this where all self-published authors can come together to support one another and share their author journey and just shed our light on our book and get to share a book amongst others in the community. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to before I bring you on, Mike, I'm just gonna go ahead and read your bio here that you sent me. So, a lifelong lover of stories, Mike Marsbergen, who lives in Keswick, a small Canadian town where not much happens, which is located slightly north of Toronto, a big city where quite a bit happens. He spent his late 20s living halfway around the world in the beautiful subtropical city of Auckland, New Zealand, which is where he'd live if he had a unlimited money, cheat code in life, or citizenship. Hilarious. So for 10 years, Mike Marsbergen helped compile Tavern Curse. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You're gonna have to help me to pronounce that when you come on. So, which is a free to read monthly e-zine on Wattpad dedicated to sci-fi and speculative fiction. He contributed to countless issues over the years while developing his craft with well over 100 stories and novellas to his name. That's incredible. So now with his latest self-published book, a list of short stories called Another Life and Other Mind-Bending Sci-Fi Stories. Let's welcome Mike Marsbergen in.
Hey, how's it going?
I am good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Turn up my volume a little bit more. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty tired, but pretty good.
You made it home on time?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to be home. It was a long day.
Awesome. Okay, so I already asked you how you're doing. I wanted to know a little bit about your life in Keswick. Like, how is it in Keswick?
I mean, Keswick's changed over the years, but it hasn't changed much. You know, it's still and you know.
The air's probably a lot fresher over there, right? Well,
I don't know about that.
No.
I think there's just bad stuff in the air in general.
Okay, true. What else was I gonna say? How about is it a lot more nature over there?
Yeah, there's some good forest. Yeah, I like to go out in the woods sometimes and just go for a walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I want to commend you on writing like 100+ books. That's like commendable on its own. A little hot there. Whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty commendable.
Yeah. Thanks.
So first off, go ahead.
Thank you, and thanks for having me, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for being here. So first off, I wanted you to share with everyone your author journey, when you began writing up until leading to where you are today on your author journey.
Sure. So, it all kind of started in high school for me. That's when I had some really good teachers who, pushed me on the path, and they made me believe. I started out writing comedy, believe it or not. That was what I was really into, just making, myself laugh, and then sometimes, classmates laugh. And then I had a teacher named Mr. Baird, and he said, the comedy's great, it's really funny, but I want to hear something different. So then I wrote a horror story, and from there it was like horror, fantasy, sci-fi became a big one for me. And so then we're here now 16 years later, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, written quite a bit, and I'm very proud of this book right here, which I will show you. Just 1 second.
Yeah, show us the book. Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. So we're going to get a read from you today, right? One of your short stories?
I'll read maybe like a few paragraphs or something.
Okay. Perfect.
Out loud.
All right. So you said you started off doing comedy, then you did horror, and then you drifted on into sci-fi. So which one of those three would you say is probably your best, I guess, or that you write most in?
Well, these days I'm writing a lot of the sci-fi horror combo. I like the two. But I would say I'm best, or at least I prefer to write the comedy. Like, to me that is fun.
Comedy. Okay. Yeah. Have you ever done like any?
When I'm bored.
Sorry, say that again.
I like to be able to sit down and laugh at the keyboard. That's my
I haven't done any comedy. I think I'm pretty funny, but I don't know. I wouldn't know where to start writing like a comedy type of book. But yeah.
I can give you some advice if you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Start with the character. So start with like a funny that makes you laugh, or you start with a funny situation, or both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then let it go from there.
All right, noted. Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about your book that you wrote, Another Life?
Sure. So it's short stories, mostly sci-fi horror. I can tell you what some of the stories are. I guess there's 11 of them.
There's 11.
One of them, a prologue, and an epilogue, which you don't really see in short story books. But I did that just because I wanted it. But yeah, so the first story, the first real story, is about a VR addict who she receives an anonymous letter when she's out, basically just doing her job, and then she just gets a letter, and it's from somebody who's declaring their love to her and for her. So that it changes her life because she's never fallen in love. So it's interesting for her. But
interesting. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's the first story. That's actually the title story. Another Life. That's the name of it.
All right.
Do you want me to say another one? So just as an example for the diversity, there's a story in there called Murder Ball, which is about a guy who is he's essentially, I don't want to say enslaved, but he's basically forced to kill for sport in order to keep his daughter.
Wow, it's pretty intense.
It is.
All right. All right, so can I get you to read one of your stories?
I'm just going to flip to a random page, and then I'll read like a paragraph or 2 paragraphs or whatever. Okay? I'll tell you.
All right, sounds good.
The roots run deep. It's the long story.
See if I can take off these comments. I don't know how to do that.
So I'm going to start from here, okay?
Okay.
When he managed to remove the flower, roots and all, and set it down on the floor, the stem alone was 5 feet long. The bone-white roots had been compressed into a hardened mass of parched soil, paradoxically drifting more of that silver fluid onto the floor. How do you even get the root ball through the motherboard? A vision came to him. The thin crack in the motherboard melting inward, malleable enough to allow the root ball to pass through, circuitry stretching like it was made of bubble gum. Is that how it happened? The parts looked normal, and he honestly couldn't remember. Kel lifted the clump of roots to his nose and recoiled, nostrils burning. Smelled like fried biscuit. He crumbled the dirt between his fingers and watched shimmering little shards fall to the floor, crackling, popping, disintegrating with the stench of sulfur. Charlie's hair. A sharp pain in his fingers made him wince, and he dropped the root ball, fingertips stinging like they were covered in microabrasions. Within the span of a second, the flower's pink-purple petals faded gray, then white. Then, Kel threw himself backwards as the flower went up in flames, white-blue like a firework. He scampered back while the stem snapped left and right, twisting and twirling, a snake in the process of dying. He debated stamping the fire out, but it ended on its own, not a few seconds later. Anyways, that's all I read. I don't like reading.
Awesome. Okay, nice. I can't wait to get my book. I'm still waiting
Yeah,
to get mine, but
yours.
that's how I'm
I guess something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I know your book is written and listed in the category of anthologies. So can you describe in your words what an anthology book is for those that may not know?
Yeah. So an anthology is just a collection of short stories. They might be related, but they might not be. You know, they might be totally different. You know.
Okay. Would you say writing anthology books is like a little easier or a little harder, or just the same, you'd say?
It's a different skill set. You know, it's like a short story. It is like writing a novel, but it's compressed and it would be complex. A novel, you'd have more plot points, you'd have more characters, you know, you'd have more things to do, and it's a different journey. You know, I would say short stories is probably I would say it's better for people who are just starting out because you don't have to commit to the full novel. You can just commit, you know, 3,000 words, 2,000 words, 5,000 words, 10,000 words, you know, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Okay. Is there like a limit, you would say, to writing a short story? Like,
for a short story, yeah, there are some established, you know, numbers. So as an example, it'll be like 7,500 is the max for a short story. Then it becomes a novelette, and then it's 17,500. It becomes a novella, and then people usually say around 40,000 to 50,000. It finally becomes a novel.
wow, awesome. So sometimes as a writer, so many things come to mind, different genres and such. So why did you choose this specific genre to write or tell your story?
For these ones in particular, or like as an example, starting out with this book.
Yes.
Okay. So I picked this book, this idea of like going back to and just taking old stories and, you know, publishing it. I thought it would be easy, but it was actually very difficult because I wanted to go back and kind of like make it almost new again. I wanted to bring it up to my roots. So yeah, it was pretty tough. But then in terms of why did I choose sci-fi, horror, or sci-fi for these stories, I wrote a lot of those stories, if not all of them, for Tevin Cruz, which was the museum that I was a part of for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
And so
that's how you pronounce it, right?
so
That's how you pronounce it.
I think Vulcan. I think that's what it is. I didn't come up with the name. I wasn't part of the creative.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's Vulcan. But anyway, most of those stories, if not all of them, are from those issues. So each issue would be like a different subgenre. So like one issue, another one would be you know, Tesla punk, just as an example.
Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, so a lot of times writing, I mean, even for writing over 100 plus stories, seems like it comes rather easy to write. How do you feel your book can inspire, motivate, or challenge somebody?
Well, to be honest, I think this book is really, it's the end result of 16 years that I've achieved.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Because I've been trying to get a book out for a very long time, you know, like, and when I was younger, I didn't think I was ready. So I kind of like held off and tried to find an agent at one point. You know, I queried about 300 agents for a sci-fi book called Reptilian, and I had a few people respond, but yeah, nobody wanted it. And so, I mean, it's just been a journey. So to me, if you read this book, you're seeing the journey. And you know, I have author's notes in there where I talk about, you know, maybe where I was at the time when I wrote the story, like emotionally or whatever. And yeah, to me, it means a lot. You know, like this is, I can't put it into words how much that book means to me.
I like that you wrote where where you were when you wrote the book, because that also puts you in the place of where you probably were at the time when you wrote that specific book. So I like that. I like that. I included that in your author notes. So I know that you either drew or you created your book cover. So how were you able to do that? Because I know for me, I organically found somebody on Instagram that created my Luna Soul book cover. So how did you go about creating your cover, your book cover?
Yeah. So I made it in Photoshop. Technically, I have OP, which is a free version of Photoshop that anyone can get. So I recommend it. But yeah, it's so essentially it's just a composite of different images that I've manipulated with different filters or different techniques or whatever. And yeah, it's an entirely different scene. So just as an example, I'm going to show it. So it's a dark room, right, with a light, but the bathroom sink area, that image, it was actually daytime in the original image. So, yeah, it's been significantly changed. But also, yeah, there will be things in the mirror. Like there's all kinds of different stuff that I've added in. So it's a totally new image. But yeah, I don't know. I like to make stuff in Photoshop. I've done it for a long time, and I enjoy doing it. So I thought I'd do it. That's the back.
Great, nice. All right. So why did you choose to self-publish, and would you self-publish again?
Yeah, I chose to self-publish because so when I lived in New Zealand, I worked at a bookstore, and I realized that the types of books that sell, that's not really the type of stuff that I write. I write stuff that's more niche, and it wouldn't really fit on a shelf. It'd be there. Maybe 2 copies would be, maybe one person would buy it, and then the other one gets sent back. That's how it is for a lot of books in real bookstores. So to me, it was like, okay, I might as well just do it and see where it takes me. Because at the time, I hadn't put anything out, wasn't making any money off my writing. So, to me, it was just I had to do it, and I would definitely do it again. I'm going to do it again.
You would do it again. Okay. Yeah, because you did say you looked at or spoke with a lot of other publishers, right? You did mention that, and
not I tried to get an agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's one piece of advice you think someone should know that is considering self-publishing their first book?
Make sure that it's polished. Just because with Amazon, people can request a refund, and from what I've read, if you get too many of those requests, they your account or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. No, make sure
I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So I've been hearing things about making sure your book is commercial ready, kind of like what you're saying, making sure it's polished. So if I wanted to write, let's say, a fiction novel or short stories like yourself, as a self-published author, tell me one thing a book needs to ensure that it's well received commercially.
Yeah, probably the polish would be the
making sure it's polished. Okay.
Because
okay.
that is kind of like an obvious thing that people will notice. So like if you have if the formatting doesn't look good or whatever, or if there's too many typos or whatever, people will notice, and you'll get people leaving really nasty reviews, and it won't be good. It tanks the rating. So.
Okay. So is there a reason you decided to self-publish as opposed to self-publishing, or as opposed to publishing your book with a publishing company? I think you mentioned that already, right?
Yeah, basically. I don't think that a publisher would touch this book. So I put it out on my own.
Well, I guess it makes it all the more special. I would say. Okay, so for me, I like writing children's stories for the simple fact that I feel children can utilize the tools. I like to add meditation and affirmations and things like that. Just universal knowledge I like to include in my books. So if you were asked to write a children's book, what genre would you choose, and what would you write about?
It's funny because when you sent me those questions, I had actually
Mm-hmm.
the day before or whatever for a children's idea. So I was like, I was outside writing and in the backyard, and then a skunk kind of wandered up to me and
Mm-hmm.
had like a little standoff. And so it gave me an idea, what if there was a kid who had a pet skunk and he could train it to like spray people on command. So that would be my idea, and it would be a comedy.
I think, yeah, I think kids would love that story. It's just because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Skunks, I gotta stay clear of skunks. OMG. Okay. So that's awesome. So I know you have so many things coming up being a writer of 100 plus stories. So what's next for you, and what can we look forward to seeing from you?
Yeah. So next up is Fiction Intuition, which is the short story anthology, but it's a community anthology with different writers from across the GTA mostly. And yeah, we're all going to be doing some short stories, and you're going to be a part of it.
Yes, that's exciting. My first group book. Yeah, it is pretty exciting. A little nerve-wracking, but because I'm on the live, maybe not so much, because I know putting myself out there on live can be a little nerve-wracking. So, I mean, it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a long time. So get ready to have fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. Is there anything that you'd like to add as a message that you want to share for those that are considering even writing that hasn't actually published a book? Is there anything that might have helped you along your journey that you've utilized to help you to finally get that book published?
Yeah, you just got to do it. You got to do it, and you got to believe in yourself. And so what I say is don't listen to the criticism. Just stick to your own vision. Try to write something that's true to you, and you'll be happy with it, and you'll have fun doing it.
Awesome. I love that. So where can we find your books or your book?
I think you can find them on other places, but it's just Amazon that I plug because that's to me that's where I'm selling them. But yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And what's your Instagram? Where can we find you?
You can find me at Mike Marsbergen Author, one word. That's MikeMarsbergen. So like Mars the planet, Bergen like in Bergen, and an author.
Awesome. Thank you once again for coming on, sharing your author journey with us. Yeah, it was lovely speaking with you, and I can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Yeah.
And for the rest that are on here as well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys as well. Thank you for joining, and have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, and good night.
All right, peace out.
Yeah.
And if you're also a self-published author, you can always message me. There's the Indie Writers Realm series, so you can always message me if you're interested in hopping on and sharing your author journey as well. Thank you once again, and have a good night.